We have breaking Dodgers news. The Dodgers are interested in another star pitcher as they try to bolster their lineup for the stretch run as they try to contend for a World Series championship. Hey, this is Mike Nelson of Dodgers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. 97% of you have not yet subscribed. We want to thank the 2% of you that have already subscribed. But make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any great Dodger news. Let's get right into it. So the Dodgers are interested in Yusei Kikuchi from the Toronto Blue Jays. This is from John Morosi of MLB Network, saying that the Dodgers are one of the teams interested in Kikuchi in a trade from the Toronto Blue Jays. This is the latest. He's in the final year of his 3-year contract, a $36 million contract that he signed back in 2022. Left-handed pitcher is going to be a free agent at the end of the 2024 season. So it's looking like the Blue Jays are going to trade Kikuchi at the end, in this trade deadline. It's basically a certainty from all the reports that we're getting that the next, little over 12 hours, Kikuchi is going to get traded. It's just a question of which team he is going to be going to. But basically, all the reports are mentioning that Kikuchi is going to get traded, and the Dodgers are one of those teams that are interested. So, what does Kikuchi bring to the table? So, taking a look at his last 5 games for the Blue Jays, it definitely has been a struggle. Giving up 5 or more runs basically in 3 out of the last 5 games. In his last matchup, he only lasted 4 innings, giving up 5 runs, giving up a home run. Only got 5 strikeouts. In his start outing against the Tigers in his outing a few days prior to that, he did pick up 8 strikeouts, so had a good outing in his matchup against the Tigers. But before that, he even had a better game back on July 9th, getting 13 strikeouts in one matchup against the San Francisco Giants in a 7-inning outing. So he does definitely have potential to develop into a elite starter for the Dodgers. For sure, some of the Dodgers really need, as we know, their starting pitching has been decimated with injuries, and it just has not been the kind of year the Dodgers are looking for from their starting pitching. So Kikuchi could be that guy that could really help out in terms of the pitching. Now, how has this been his career? Well, he started out with the Mariners, really struggled out of the gate when he first broke into the league, going 6-11 back in 2019. Really struggled there. Had a 5.46 ERA. But back in once he came to the Blue Jays, he really settled down, including in 2023. Having an 11-6 record with a 3.86 ERA. That is by far his best season of his career. Basically, in all the other seasons, he has been under 500, including this year, going 4-9 so far. Has started 22 games, the most for the Blue Jays, if I'm not mistaken. But he has definitely not had a good season for the Blue Jays, who are most likely going to be sellers at this deadline, as they are basically out of the playoff conversation at this point. The Toronto Blue Jays are not making the playoffs. That's why it's already a certainty, basically, that this player is going to get traded, right? The Blue Jays are not going to re-sign him, and they're deciding to move on from him. So that's why the Dodgers are one of those teams that are interested in making this trade. So looking back on his last 5 games, like I mentioned, he has really struggled. So should the Dodgers make this trade, you also have to take into account that the Dodgers have a lot of competition when it comes to Kikuchi in this trade market. According to the report from John Morosi of MLB Network, the Dodgers also have competition from the Padres, the Twins, the Astros, who are all trying to get Kikuchi on their team. Basically, I think everybody is in the same boat. These teams are all trying to make the playoffs, and they're just looking for one more starter. And basically, Kikuchi is a short-term rental, right? Because you're only going to have him for the next 2 months, and then basically cut him loose if he has a bad 2024. You don't really have to have any long-term commitment, and I think that's what's really interesting to these teams, especially when you look at the markets that are interested, right? The Padres usually don't want to spend a lot of money. The Twins, definitely, the latest report of them cutting $30 million in salary for this season and next year. The Twins are definitely interested in Kikuchi, going to be a low-cost rental for the rest of the year. And then, as we know, the Astros, they definitely need one more pitcher if they want to be really contenders And they never like to spend money either. Kind of surprised the Dodgers are on this report. Kind of goes to my next point. Should the Dodgers, make this trade? And I would be a little bit on the fence, especially with the recent reports that Garrett Crochet is out there, and the Dodgers are really interested in him. I would kind of wait and see. This is like a last minute kind of deal you make if you can't get the other two pitchers that you are interested in. I wouldn't really go all in here on this pitcher. Especially unless the Padres do get close to a trade, I think you have to make the trade. You don't want the Padres to get him, right? Being a division rival, especially if the Dodgers and Padres do play in the first round. But if he ends up going to Minnesota or Houston, I think you're not too concerned, those two teams being in the American League. You just have to try to see if the Dodgers can pick up Crochet or Skubal, the two biggest pitchers out there on the deadline right now that everybody is interested in getting. Make sure to subscribe to Dodgers